everybody, welcome back to another video. I hope you are having an amazing day so far. My day is going pretty good indeed, although if you hear any big banging, just know that the wind is howling. That's the only issue I have with today, but other than that, my day is going pretty good. Today we're doing something a little bit different. Today's request comes from my wife Kat, and if you've seen our family channel at all, or one of our lives, you'll know that Kat absolutely loves Alaska. She really wants to go visit Alaska one day because she thinks it's the most beautiful place on earth. Now don't get me wrong, I think it's stunning and beautiful myself. It's just not on the top of my list, so there's places I'd like to visit first. But yeah, it is stunning, and she sent me this video about an hour ago, and she said, babe, please check out this video. I think it will change your mind. And the video is 14 things to do and eat in Anchorage, Alaska. So we're going to be checking that out. But before we do, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you're feeling extra frisky, you may as well give the video a like as well. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's check out these 14 things to do and eat in Anchorage, Alaska.
Anchorage, Alaska is the largest city in the state with more than a third of the state's population living there. The city is located right on the water in the southern portion of the state, and it's a great jumping off point for an exploration into the wonders of Alaska. I spent a few days there in June of 2021.
Is that a whale carcass?
Exploration into the wonders of Alaska. I spent a few days there in June of 2021, and here are some of my favorite things to do and places to eat in Anchorage. Let me know what I left off in the comments, and note that this list is just for summer attractions. Winter would be a whole different beast. Let's
even better. She's smart, my cat, isn't she? She's smart. She knows how much I hate the winter. And before anyone says anything, don't get me wrong. I know it's cold here in Slovakia, and I know Alaska gets even more cold, but it's not always cold. I do know that, but in winter here in Slovakia, I am miserable enough, and I think the coldest it's been so far this winter is like minus 16 degrees Celsius, so I don't think I'd survive there, but yeah, let's check it out.
Let's jump into it.
Clever girl. Summer.
My first recommendation is to spend some time on the Tony Knowles Coastal Trail. This bike trail goes from downtown all the way along the water to Kincaid Park. Along the way, it stops at many parks and viewpoints looking back towards Anchorage. You can spend the whole day biking along the path and stopping at places like Earthquake Park, Captain Cook Monument, and the Oscar Anderson House.
Earthquake Park does not sound very fun.
Stopping at places like Earthquake Park, Captain Cook Monument, and the Oscar Anderson House Museum. Be sure to plan some time specifically for a stop at my next recommendation, Point Warrenzoff Park. Next up, Point Warrenzoff Park is a place we went back to a few times while in Anchorage. For one, this area is stunning with a beautiful beach and views out towards the mountains and the city. It's also right next to the airport, and planes basically land over your head while you're hanging out there. It's pretty nuts to be able to see these views while watching the planes land, and it's a fun spot in the city for sunset. Heading back into the downtown portion of Anchorage, my next recommendation is the Anchorage Museum. This museum is inside of a pretty large and more modern building.
I'd love to check some of this stuff out because this is the sort of stuff we don't get in the museums over here. So I'd love to learn a bit more about this. So yeah, this is definitely something
in the downtown part of the city. The museum has many art exhibits as well as information on some of Alaska's history. There's also a fun interactive area for children at the museum as well, which makes it a great stop for the whole family while in Anchorage.
Oh, that's cool.
My next recommendation is the Ship Creek viewing platform.
I don't know if you saw that. I just missed coffee on myself. And yes, I'm drinking milk again. One milky coffee a day.
From downtown Anchorage, just a 5-minute drive north takes you to the Ship Creek viewing platform. This viewpoint is a great place to see salmon, especially during the summer. When we were there, the water was pretty murky, but you could still see these massive fish make their way to the surface as they swam upstream. This video doesn't do it justice, but these fish were absolutely huge. This is also a great place to do some fishing yourself while in the city. Also, if you make the drive over to Ship Creek, consider stopping at the Ulu factory. It's close by, and they make the famous and historic type of Alaskan knife that you probably...
I want those things, man. I've been looking to get those. I've seen a few of like the outdoor cooking things, and I'd love to get one of those knives.
It's close by, and they make the famous and historic type of Alaskan knife that you've probably seen before. You can even see them working on the knives during the day when you visit. My next recommendation is the Alaska Native Heritage Center. The Alaska Native Heritage Center is designed to share and spotlight the history of the 11 major cultural groups in Alaska. While the museum portion is still being worked on and doesn't have a lot to see, the exterior has an amazing trail that takes you through replica dwellings for many of the different cultural groups. It was fascinating to see how each survived in the cold of Alaska, and being able to walk inside and appreciate how they are made makes for a unique stop while in the city of Anchorage.
I'd like to see that.
They often have tours as well, which take you along the trail and tell you more about each of the dwellings and people groups. My dad and I both really enjoyed our time here, and it was definitely a highlight. Next up is the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center. This center is located about 45 minutes south of Anchorage, but
there's prices there. Adults $17, seniors $15, AC resident $15, military $15, student $13, children go for free.
Conservation Center. This center is located about 45 minutes south of Anchorage, but it's well worth the drive if you're interested in the state's wildlife. The Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center is dedicated to conservation, research, and education, and it comes through in the massive enclosures they have for their animals and the people you encounter who can tell you more about each one. I was shocked to see the elevated walkway they had that took you over the bear area, and it was easily the most active I've ever seen animals like this in a contained area. You can walk or drive to see the different animals, which makes it as short or as long an experience as you.
Is that a yak? Is that what they called a yak?
You can walk or drive to see the different animals, which makes it as short or as long of an experience as you would like. Next up, let's jump into a few of my favorite restaurants. Food. I have to say, Anchorage food was pretty amazing, and I was really impressed by what the city had to offer. First up is Snow City Cafe. Snow City Cafe is the place to be for breakfast. It's always busy and for good reason. The cafe has excellent food, good service, and a relaxed vibe. They're known for their Benedicts, which come with everything from fresh crab to salmon cakes. I highly recommend you order one of those, but the crab omelet was also a standout looks as well. Good. Next up is Fire Island Rustic Bake Shop. If you're looking for a quicker breakfast, then definitely go to this bakery. They have dozens of different baked goods with many changing daily, and everything I had was great. My dad and I especially liked the breakfast sandwich and the scones, but you can't go wrong here. It's also a great last-minute snack for the airplane as well, or if you're going out on a day trip from Anchorage.
Kids would enjoy that.
Next up is the Kobuk. While not a traditional food spot, the Kobuk is home to two of the best things I had in Anchorage, donuts and tea. The donuts in the back of the shop have won many awards, and if you're lucky, you can get a fresh one right out of the oven while you're there. Plus, in the front of the store, they have all sorts of tea, with the samovar being one of the ones that people come from all over to get. I recommend taking some home for friends, and if you forget, they have a store in the Anchorage airport as well. Next up is Moose's Tooth Pub and Pizzeria. If you ask what one of the most popular restaurants is in Anchorage, you'll no doubt be referred to the Moose's Tooth. Often voted as one of the best pizza places in America, this fun gastropub type spot has good beer and better pizza. They have also
I like that pizza, that the thin dough
this fun
crust
gastropub type spot has good beer and better pizza. They have all sorts of crazy options for pizza toppings, and you can even do half and half if you want to try different things. There's pretty much always a wait here, but it's definitely worth it, and you can't leave the city without trying it. My last recommendation is Glacier Brewhouse. If you're looking for a nice dinner with great local seafood while in the city, then Glacier Brewhouse is definitely my favorite. This restaurant has a fun, rustic vibe and exceptional food to go along with it. The pub pretzel appetizer is next level, as is the herb-crusted halibut, but I have to imagine everything on the menu here is good. This is where we chose to go for our last night in Anchorage, and it didn't let us down.
That was chicken.
One more quick shout out, Anchorage Brewing Company is a great spot in the city for beer, if you're looking for a glass.
Hold on.
In the city for beer, if you're looking for
Pilsner Urquell, this one here that I'm hovering the mouse over, I'm probably pronouncing it incorrect, is a Czech beer, which is just next door to us, and it's really good actually. I do enjoy that if I have a beer, which has been a long time since I will. I'll probably have one for my birthday this year, and it will either be a Pilsner or a Kruszowice, which is also a Czech beer, which is really nice.
For glass.
A little bit of useless information there.
My last recommendation is just to take in the midnight sun. One of the coolest things to do in Alaska in the summer is just to see the midnight sun.
I'd love to see
While
that.
the days are certainly longer in a northern city like Fairbanks, in Anchorage you can still watch the sunset late into the night while in the city. It's crazy to see people out running, biking, getting coffee, and just living life at midnight while the sky is still bright.
That would be so
it's definitely
strange.
Something you want to experience when you visit Anchorage, or Fairbanks for that matter. Our last night in the city, we watched the sunset around 11:45 from one of the local parks.
That'd be cool to see.
So this video turned out a lot longer than I thought it would be, so I'm going to make another video on day trips from Anchorage that I'd recommend.
She'll probably
That's
be
it for
sending
this
that one
list.
to me
Let me
next.
know what I left off in the comments, and we will see you on the next video.
See you later, mate. That was a great video. When you think of Anchorage, Alaska, the last thing you probably think of, well, the last thing I would think of is food. And the food looked pretty decent, to be honest with you. I'm not one in for sweet things. So that fish, the halibut, the omelets look good. The crab and salmon omelets and that they looked really good. But I'm not a sweetie kind of person, so the kids could deal with that. But yeah, don't get me wrong. It looks absolutely beautiful. I'd love to see the midnight sunset. That would be quite a thing to witness, to be honest with you. But yeah, there's places I'd rather go, other places. Now, don't take that as an offensive thing, please. But yeah, I'll tell you what, though. Anyone who's married knows Kat will get her way. We'll go there one day before one of my top destinations. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.